full effect out the 832. And y'all motherfuckers already know how Jimmy J Smooth do. I'm gonna give about a couple of minutes for people to come in the chat room. Uh, I just have to address this situation with Sara and Nicole. So I'm gonna give y'all a couple of minutes to get it together. What I'm gonna start doing is okay. I'm gonna do this here. And if you're already in the chat room, just up right now. I currently see 0 viewers. Don't need that. Gas echo. Moment. Hold on. In the ditch right there. Probably everybody's sleeping. If not, I'll just go on and do the live stream. Wait. I definitely wanted to address this situation. So, well, I guess since I'm just gonna get the stream started. Just gonna get the stream started. Just gonna do that. Sending it to my aces. Shit. So, well, okay. So, if y'all don't know who I am, this your boy Jimmy J Smooth, live and direct in full effect out the 832. Y'all already know how Jimmy J Smooth do. Now, I was starting to do a video about old girl months ago, but my boy T Moore, if you're listening, he kind of convinced me not to do the video simply because, he said I would possibly work with somebody like Tariq. So Uh, definitely shout out to that brother. He's doing some major and great things. So let me get this shit together. Shit, motherfucker. We should be hell trying to get these shits together. Oh fuck. When I took snippets of old girls live stream and shit like that, and a lot of her the shit she's saying in that live stream is completely the bitch just lied. You know, and I'm not trying to disparage Sarah Nicole, but it is what it is. This motherfucker just be saying some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe half the shit this motherfucker say to save my life. But what I will say, the doubt, I felt like Tariq did set it up to the point to where he was trying to give her the 86 anyway. But with that being said, Sarah Nicole deserved the 86 a long ass time ago. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because starting, I want to say between episode 6 and episode 8, between those episodes, Sarah Nicole, from the length of the show, have always been a little disrespectful motherfucker. Now, if you look at her Twitter timeline, this motherfucker, give me a second, because this motherfucker be on some shit. On her Twitter timeline, give me a second. And sorry for some of the delays. But for a long time, she would go on her Twitter, and what she would do is she would say some little slick shit on Twitter about the show and some slick shit about Tariq and slick shit about Miss Chris, which I'm not a fan of Miss Chris, but you gotta have some decorum. You gotta have some type of professionalism. You know, because I remember one time I was on her Twitter timeline and I asked, you know, what's Miss Chris' Twitter account? And she gave me a side eye Amicon or emoji or whatever the fuck you call them motherfuckers. So she been on some bullshit for a while. So I'm just asking a simple question. You know, what is Miss Chris's because at the time I wasn't 100% hip that she was a bad wench. I didn't really get hip to that she was a bad wench until maybe episode, I want to say episode 5 or 6, some shit like that. So Sarah Nicole was just not Sarah Nicole, for lack of a better term, she didn't have any kind of radio etiquette. She wasn't very professional whatsoever. But yet, you've never disrespected Tariq. She said on her Twitter timeline, I've never disrespected Tariq. That's a fucking lie. First of all, talking over over the main host is disrespectful. Whether you notice that or not, that is disrespectful. That's first and foremost. Second, you didn't have no kind of radio etiquette. You didn't have no kind of professionalism because you're representing a best-selling author. You had no kind of radio etiquette. You sounded like a fucking hood rat for the most part. Now, at first, I myself and everybody else was fooled by you. we thought you was the type of person that was cool. When Miss Chris left the show, the noticeability of bullshit had really festered. And it almost seemed like you was jealous of Miss Layla. I'm just gonna keep it 1,010. Because at first, the first show and a half or two, it seemed like this was gonna be a better show than when Miss Chris was on there. Because I'm not gonna even lie, Miss Chris had no fucking personality. She was just there for the most part. She had no fucking personality. But the thing was, Miss Chris made you look good because Miss Chris was a fucking bad wench. I'm on now. Just letting my friend know. The thing of it is, Miss Chris made you look good because Miss Chris was a fucking bad one. Let's just keep this shit up. 1,010. Miss Chris made you look better than what you really were. And the thing was, I was starting to giving you the benefit of the doubt because I wanted to like you. But the problem is, you started coming up, you started saying some little fuck shit that I didn't like. You know, you was kind of showing your ass and you made yourself look like a fucking ass, to be honest with you. And this is an example of how fucked up her Twitter unprofessional this woman was. Timeline earlier, now she deleted it, but on her Twitter timeline, she said some shit like, do nothing about nothing. Now, even though that's somewhat true, you don't say no fuck shit like that about your coworker or your co-host. You don't say no stupid shit like that. You know. Give me a second, because motherfuckers are just texting me at the wrong motherfucking time. But this motherfucker was on there, you know, low key dissing her quote unquote coworker. And that's something you just don't do. And it was time for you to bounce. I agree with brother Tariq in saying it was time for you to bounce because you just thought of yourself as bigger than you thought your ass was bigger than the fucking show, to be honest with you. Some of the things you did was like talk over the dude. You know, she's still talking about what Rock Newman can ask him is you a pimp, but I can't ask you is you a pimp. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know. But the motherfucker was saying shit like, well, Sarah, you know, Miss Layla didn't know nothing about nothing, which is true, but that's an example of your lack of professionalism. When you're a co-host of a show, you got to have some type of fucking professionalism. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're dealing with a person that's a best-selling author. And then the problem was this motherfucker tried to act like she knows something about dating relationships. Over the nigga that know more about you. Now let's play the devil's advocate. Even if he was a quote unquote macking and pimping and all that good shit, bitch, him being a pimp and a mac, he knows more shit about relationships than your dumb ass is. So bitch, shut the fuck up. Stop talking over the expert. Tariq Nasheed have sold books. The Art of Mackin, the Mac Within, Player Be Played, and the Elite Way. And I think the Art of Gold Digging was a bestseller. I could be wrong. Please correct me. And I see two people watching live now. If I'm wrong, please correct me on that. because that won't be the first time I'm right or wrong. But you know what I'm saying? I want to get my information as accurate as possible. I see a couple of people in the chat room. That's cool. I was trying to get more people, but that's all right. You gotta understand who's the fucking expert. Now, I used to do conference calls as a film, and I had to, as much as I knew about from a intellectual and an IQ standpoint, I had to let my partner be the expert because he knew more shit about it and he's made more money than me. So it's time for you to shut the fuck up. Tariq Nasheed, whether you like him or not, whether you think of him as a Mac and a pimp and all that shit, whether you think of regardless of your feelings, this dude have changed the lives of a lot of people's relationships. You can't even dispute that. Because people call in all the time talking about you've made my relationship better. You've made my marriage better. You've made my life better in getting women. I have to be Stevie Steve's up in this motherfucker. It's a lot of things that people, when push comes to a shove, you can't dispute his body of work. Even with the conscious thing, you can't dispute his body of work. Because I remember she said some shit on her Periscope, and I couldn't even listen to that shit because this motherfucker is just I can't even listen to this shit. I can't really listen to it because it's full of lies. And one thing that rubbed me the wrong way, I think between 7 and 9, latest episode 11, she was saying some shit. He was talking to a person about their marriage, and he was saying that you don't have to deal with your in-laws. He was saying some shit like that, and then she came out and talked about, well, that's bullshit. Now that right there, to some people, a lot of people might not have caught it, but I knew it's on one of these episodes because I got all 27 episodes of Ism Radio. But she said that this is live. You can't miss it. That in itself is disrespectful. So for her to get on Twitter talking about I've never disrespected Tariq, yes, the fuck you have. You've disrespected him blatantly. You've disrespected him in a slick manner. You've disrespected his employees. You've done all types of stupid shit. So don't go there with the fucking you disrespectful as hell, because I can name at least 10 things that you've been disrespectful on. Just 10 incidents where you had been disrespectful on. And the fucked up part about it is Tariq let you hang and gave you too much rope. Because he was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, because deep down he really liked you as a person. And he was trying to give you a chance to get your shit together. He was really trying to give you he was really trying to mentor you. But the problem is you don't listen. Women like you just don't fucking listen. And you can't give a motherfucker like kind of ism because you talk too fucking much. That's the reason why you were begging a nigga for $40. You on the show complaining about a nigga ain't gave you $40. Who grown ass woman complains about a nigga not giving them $40? Especially an attractive woman like you. If you can't get $40 out of a nigga, you know what? You have zero game. You have zero game, and you don't have a fucking personality to go with it. Because all the fuck you gotta do is just be fine. Sit around and be fine. In some cases, you don't even got to be that. You just need to have a big ass. And a nigga spend some money on you, but you're so fucking dumb. You're probably saying some stupid shit to the nigga, trying to use shaming tactics to get that $40 out of a nigga. If a woman is above, if a woman who keeps herself up like you can't get at least $100 out of a nigga, If you can't get at least $100 out of a nigga, you are epic fail at life. Let's just keep this 1,010. You are epic fail at life. Because sometimes a woman don't even need to ask a dude for money, especially if she's fine or have some type of point of interest, for lack of a better term. But Tariq wanted to lace this woman with game, but the problem is Sara is full of shit. And the thing about it is, I noticed one of the things I noticed when she was talking about the guys in LA was, these black dudes ain't checking for black women in LA. They love the white women and shit like that. That's subjective. Because most of the dudes in LA I know, they're with black women. So the problem with Sara Nicole is she came down to a city. LA is a city to where at that point your looks don't matter. Regardless of what race you are, your looks don't matter. You got to bring some type of personality to the table because there's hundreds, millions of women that's just fine. So looking at a motherfucker like Sara, dusty motherfucker like Sara Nicole, nigga ain't finna go out his way to try to holler at you when there's a motherfucker that looks probably 10 times better looking than you and probably got more attributes and more things to bring to the table than your motherfucking ass. But you complaining about $40. Living in LA, you're complaining about $40. See, in DC, she was the shit. But in LA, she's on some shit. But Tariq, deep down, really wanted to mentor her. And coaches, I think Coach Sheldon Harris once said that Coach Sheldon Harris said something like, if a coach want to get you away from the type of person that you are now, I think he said a mentor is the type of person will want to get you away. Coach wanted to make you better, a better person, and a mentor wanted to get you away from the type of person that's making you fall off. Some shit like that. But deep down, he wanted to mentor her. He wanted to be a life coach to her and wanted to give her some type of guidance. But down the line, she just did not soak it up to the point to where he just stopped fucking with her and let her babble. And one of the things that rubbed me the wrong way about her was this woman said on live air. You can go back into one of the to the archives between episode 18 and 20. Between episode 18 and 20, it's on the live archives, but I will put that in the description box if I have to once I get it. But she said this on live air that if a nigga have an outside kid, I'm gonna be in jail for killing him and the fucking baby. Who the fuck says some shit like that on live fucking air? Who the fuck says some stupid shit like that on live air? You gotta know that Tariq got a lot of people listening to his radio show. You'll be surprised who the fuck listening to that radio show. It's A-list actors listen to the Tariq radio show, the ISM radio show, the Ustream show. It may just seem like 100 people be in this chat room, 1,000 people be in this chat room. He might not get the viewership that Boyce Watkins got, because Boyce Watkins got like hundreds of thousands of people follow him. He may not get the viewership of a white supremacist, of extreme white supremacist, Illuminati, what's that motherfucker name? Goddamn Alex Jones ad. He may not get that viewership, but you best to believe it's some A-list motherfuckers A-list celebrities listening to his shit. So you can't say any or everything. And a lot of people kind of felt like, I think ever since she said that, a lot of people be like, man, you gotta get rid of this bitch. Why would you say some fuck shit on live air? This woman said this on live air. See, you can't go back and say, well, I'm lying on this because you said it. You can go back to the archives and do your research on this shit. You can literally go back to the archives and listen to this woman say that if a dude had an outside kid and they were married, she would kill the dude and the baby. She would be in jail for killing the dude and the baby. You don't say no stupid ass shit like that on live fucking air. You don't say no stupid shit like that. That's how much radio etiquette and professionalism this motherfucker had. But Tariq is the problem. Tariq is disrespectful. No, you're disrespectful to the show. And this motherfucker also said Lena was standing there at the particular time that she said this shit. She was saying this janky ass radio show. How the fuck you gonna disrespect your own goddamn radio show? How the fuck you gonna disrespect the radio show? Lena was sitting there. It's on the archives. Well, this is a janky radio station and all that. Bitch, how the fuck you gonna disrespect your own radio station? It's crazy. The only reason why you got damn near 1,000 Twitter followers is the simple fact that you associated with Tariq Nasheed. You didn't have this many Twitter followers for the most part. Well, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. He's very shiesty and all that behind the scenes and shit like that. That's either here or there. But what we do know is you own some fuck shit. Push come to a shove. What we do know is this ain't me taking sides. Even though I know for a fact you're on some bullshit. I know this for an indisputable fact. This motherfucker's on some bullshit. This shit been pressing for a while. This issue been pressing for a good while. And I'm not surprised it went down like that. I could see it going down like that. That's the reason why I got on the profile pic on YouTube that this motherfucker, you know, is gonna bump. They're gonna bump heads, and I saw this coming. Sometimes personalities conflict. Personalities will conflict up in this motherfucker. Her type of personality is gonna conflict practically with anybody she deals with because she don't know when to shut the fuck up. She don't know when to let somebody give her some good game. She don't know when to let anybody give her some fucking guidance. She's not that type of person you can give guidance to. And then I remember, I think it was episode 22. She was talking over the nigga, and he was like, man, if you would stop popping your gums, I knew right there, it's only a matter of time before Tariq gets rid of her ass. Because he was waiting on the clap back. He waiting on the right time to clap back on her. You know, he gave her the benefit of the doubt because deep down, he felt she needed some guidance. And he tried to give her some guidance, but she didn't receive it properly. Well, I ain't going to even say she didn't receive it properly. She just didn't want it. She wanted to stay in her hood rat mode. She wanted to stay in the same hood rat mode and not upgrade. She wasn't trying to upgrade herself. And she's a beautiful woman, but the problem is she doesn't upgrade herself. She want to be able to be a weed head, and she want to be a weed head and do the same shit over and over again. But the problem is you're in a whole nother ball. LA is a whole nother ball game from Washington, D.C. The dating game is a whole nother ball game. Life is a whole nother ball game from D.C. LA is a whole nother ball game from D.C. And she just very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. But the main thing is she tried to become an expert that she was not. She tried to be an expert and she really wasn't an expert. Because look at the situation with this with the dudes you deal with. The situations with the dudes you deal with, would you take advice from this motherfucker? I sure as hell won't take no advice from you. Not no dating of all things. And I see why brother Tariq got tired of her shit. I could see that. Tariq is not that type of dude. He's a no nonsense type dude. And she is full of nonsense. She's full of nonsense. And it showed. Her nonsense showed. And today, he just got tired of this shit. And you can't blame him for getting tired of her dumb ass. Now, you got some simp ass niggas that's trying to campaign for some Sara Nicole coochie. But that's a whole nother conversation in itself. But you got some clowns up there trying to campaign for some. He could have did it another way, but how can you do it another way? And this motherfucker's constantly barking at you. This motherfucker was asking to get fired on live. Was asking to get fired in front of hundreds of thousands of people. She was asking for that. But this motherfucker is the victim. You're not a victim, Sara Nicole. You're self-destructive. And like I said, like everybody else, we liked you. But the thing was, you got to talking some dumbass shit. You got to talking that hood rat shit. And people wasn't, you got to understand, Tariq, the followers of Tariq Nasheed, whether they like him or don't, one thing you got to realize is they don't, uh, you can't bullshit Tariq followers. And for the last 5-6 weeks, people been going in on Sara Nicole. People been going in on her. So it's crazy. And Tariq tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, but the problem was the show. The more shows she would be on, and again, I felt like she was jealous of Miss Layla because Miss Layla was a better looking chick than she is. It is what it is. She looked better than Sara Nicole, and she felt intimidated by that. And when you feel intimidated by somebody that looks better than you and I ain't gonna say she had more of a personality, but Sara knows when to shut the hell up. I give her that. So she knows how to play team. The problem is Sara does not know how to play teamwork. When you're on a broadcast team, you got to know how to play teamwork, and she just did not know how to do that. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with something, but you have to have some type of etiquette. Saying that you're the expert, a best-selling author who sold hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of books, is on some bullshit is very unprofessional. Now we can talk about all the shit that may be classified as unprofessional with Tariq, but Tariq been the same dude since he started in broadcast. So a lot of times you got to play past a lot of the shit he says. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to have. He doesn't say things to have lack of decorum. He doesn't say that. Out of that, the thing is, he's had the same personality forever and a day. And then she want to say, well, the reason why I asked him was he a pimp was because I heard he was on Pimps Ups and Hoes Down. I'm like, bitch, you think people gonna fall for that dumbass excuse? The only people falling for that dumbass excuse is lame ass motherfuckers and Krispy Kreme type motherfuckers. Again, whether or not he was a pimp, he gives better dating advice than your motherfucking ass is, and I would take advice from him way before I take advice from you, because you don't know shit what the fuck you talking about, and you just gotta acknowledge that. And sometimes you gotta know when you don't know what the fuck you talking about. You can't get a dude to give you $40, and you complain about that on multiple occasions since episode 20. Like I said, if a woman of her looks or a woman who keeps herself up like you can't get $20 out of a nigga, or at least 100 out of a nigga, you a failure. You're just a failure. Let's just keep it 1,010. If you can't get at least $100 out of a dude that you deal with, and I'm being hell, if you can't get $200 out of the average dude, you can't get $200 out of a nigga, you just a failure. But again, I saw this coming a mile away. And people shouldn't have been surprised. Knowing Tariq's personality, I've been listening to him for over 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. Been following his books quite a while. So it is what it is. And people should not be surprised by that. Once again, this is your boy live and direct in full effect out to 832. Y'all already know how Jimmy J Smooth do. Peace out.